This is something I've always wanted to do.
I always wanted to just help people.
I think for me, I've always had like a need to do service. I feel like that's where I find my faith.
I thought it'd be a very nice experience to try and help some people who may be in maybe not as good as circumstances.
I grew up in the Azores, in a small island, and I didn't have running water at home, and we didn't have electricity, and my mom used to do laundry out in the river. And but when I got to Haiti, I did not grow up poor.
I didn't realize how bad of living conditions that some of the people are in. It was actually very eye-opening, shocking.
They've got no running water, no latrines. You know, they have shacks for their homes.
You see all of this like tragedy, but I didn't think people would handle it so kindly and so generously.
To be able to see these people live in those conditions and still be so happy, so positive, it was a huge inspiration to me and a big wake-up call for what we have, and the things that we complain about sometimes are so minute in comparison to what some other people have to deal with.
We dug latrines.
So we would dig holes outside. There'd be 5 by 5, 15 feet deep, and we would help start to dig some of those out.
I was digging for latrines pretty much most of the time there. I had some pretty sore arms for the next couple days, but it was wonderful to meet the families there that we were digging the latrines for.
We actually worked on helping to prepare some of the homes for Haiti that we actually sponsored through the church.
I was able to look and see what building the blocks were like.
So we take them right from concrete, mix in water, sand, actually have little molds that we pack the stuff into and build the bricks so that they could use them later for building.
Another thing we did was we painted houses. It was always really bright colors like pink or mint green and all these things that would make it stand out. And the pride that they took in having their house painted was such a big thing. Like, they were happy to have this concrete house, but it's not a home until it's decorated, until it's colored the way that they want it.
I got to help paint one of the ladies' homes that she had just got a home built for her. She was a single mom. Her husband passed away, and she had 4 young children.
The best part, of course, was being able to go to the schools, visit the children.
Their schools were very bare compared to ours. So they had maybe a chalkboard and a map and then a couple pencils. Singing is a really big thing for people of Haiti, and we didn't really understand that before we went. So every classroom that we visited had a different welcome song.
The children there are amazing. They're so funny. They're hilarious.
I'll never ever forget this. Myself and my school sponsored a child there, and I got to meet her as well as her family, and it was the most beautiful experience ever.
Every time we visited a school, like, there was always a different energy. It would depend on the teachers as well, of what kind of greeting you'd get. And a lot of the questions that we'd ask them would be like, if we actually asked them this one question: if we were in the same situation as you guys and we needed sponsors, if you had the money to do so, would you help? And they always said yes, which was a very touching thing to hear. What my heart has really gone to since the trip is all the critical care kids.
I had my encounter with my now sponsored child, whose name is Frankel.
We passed this boy.
He was bleeding from his elbows, from his knees, the back of his feet, his toes, his chest.
And he looked at us with the biggest look of despair I've ever seen anyone give. Like, I've seen despair before, but like, he was defeated.
He was begging for us for help. He had tears in his eyes.
We immediately yelled for Amanda, and Amanda is our nurse.
Basically, the young man has epilepsy, and because his family is so poor, they can't afford any medication. I mean, he was very, very skinny, malnourished.
And we started tending to all of these wounds, and they were on every joint, on every part of his body, and they were just open wounds covered with old scars, covered with like everything. There were bugs. It was just so horrific.
If we did not come across him that day, he would not be sponsored. He would still be having these issues.
It was a very emotional roller coaster to go there. You had sad moments and you had extreme happy moments.
We saw a lot of faith. The mass before us was packed. Like, you couldn't sit anyone else in that church. And as soon as it was empty, it was just people piling and piling and piling. And
the air conditioning turned off halfway through it, and they were all still happy and singing.
their songs mean so much to them, and you can feel the emotion of a church.
It was a huge inspiration for me to go there and be able to help some people.
We here have so much.
People's homes, before they were sponsored, were in shambles. It was almost like a shed that one of us would have, but maybe a wall is missing or the roof is missing, and rain or anything like that would just come right through. The homes that were donated by St. Mary's, they're very solid, very nice, very safe, like ready for earthquake. It wouldn't be damaged like the other homes would have been. You could tell that everyone who had one of those sponsored homes were very, very grateful. They can live a completely different lifestyle, healthier, happier. Even if we can help one person, it makes a huge difference in someone's life.
Excellent.